Welcome everybody, this is Unstoppable Stiletsy. So instead of a normal cast of games situation for today, I thought we'd try something new and spicy. Normally I have to look on one of the more official AoE 3D Discord servers to find a casted game to do for you, but today I want to do something a bit different. Instead of just doing the pro players going off against each other, I figured let's just do a random traversal through the browse games to see if there's any cool games we can find at random, just so we're also covering games done by the community at large instead of just a small portion of players. This way you can see the wider variety of players doing what they do, whether they're high level or low level, doesn't matter. Just something to add a wider group of people under the umbrella that I cover. And if you know anyone that likes to see their games commentated, maybe tell them to watch this channel, because you never know, they might show up on here if this series really takes off. So let's try it. Let's see if we can find anything that's unlocked. So I see here, let me see. If you join, well, anything that looks good, anything that looks viable. I see a 3P FFA. This could be good. Let's try that. Let's see how this one looks. So what are they doing? Are they doing like a 3P China FFA mirror? That's pretty cool actually. So I never done free-for-alls before, so this is going to be a first for me. Let me get that fog of war off so we can just see what everyone's doing. So we got China, and China. So lots of Chinese, lots of fortune cookies, and lots of egg rolls. So it's going to be curious to see what these Chinese do. The thing that really throws me for a loop here is the fact the Chinese are obviously very aggressive, but at the same time they love to go for that fast fortress. So I think it's safe to say, since there's 3 of them, they're probably all going to try to go for the quickest fast fortress and probably the fastest industrial as well, and then go full spamming on their military breaks. Because the threat you always have in a 3P FFA is you got 2 people that duke it out with each other, while you got the MVP hiding out in the background, building up resources, and then ends up crushing the survivor or even both of them once they get smart enough to attack them. I've been on the side of that many times myself. I try to camp out, gather as much resources as I can, try to hold out without as much combat early on as possible, and the longer I can go without combat, the better off your late game becomes. That's for all 3P FFAs. I'm gonna check through everybody's deck once they show up. Where's the flag? Where is the flag? Do we have a flag? Wait a second, they don't have a flag. So did they set a rule up to not use home cities? That's actually pretty cool. I didn't know you could do that. It's kind of awesome. Yeah, man, I don't even see any home cities here. Like, let's look. Yeah, no cards. This is kind of insane. Yep, I don't see any cards here, so it looks like they used the special rule to prevent home saves from being used. That's kind of fun, because now they're obviously not going to get to use any sort of crates or units to buff themselves up. We see one China over here building a monastery already. That'll be good, since I'll give him some early access to mercenary units and outlaws, and also some of his special upgrades for his Chinese monk here. What's the China down here doing? Looks like right now he has a trading post built. Does he have a village anywhere? I don't see a village anywhere. What about up here? Do we see he has a trading post up here? Does he have a village anywhere? Yeah, I don't see a village anywhere, so it looks like only this one is building population up. Alright, so now it looks like he's transitioning to a bit of wood chopping, as well as he has a bit on berries, a bit on mining. So it's making me think now maybe these are lower ELO players, since we don't see a lot of hunting going on per se. What about the other ones though? I mean, wait a second, is that a rice paddy? Yeah, that's a rice paddy. Interesting. Nice. So, wait a second. He actually went for a rice paddy. That's not the smartest move, but who am I to say? Maybe he feels like I'm gonna get rushed super hard early on, so I gotta keep a rice paddy near my TCs so I can keep getting food, maybe? I don't know. Well, this one's doing a bit of hunting, but he's also doing a bit of mining and a bit of chopping. I also noticed now that I look deeper between each of these as I shuffle through them, they only have about 8 to 7 villagers apiece. So, yeah, this is looking like it's a low ELO legend style match today. I have to make sure I keep note of that when I upload it. At least this one has a market, it looks like. He does have a monastery, so he's going to be trickling a bit of XP from that. It's looking like right now maybe Green China is looking really good, since he's doing a lot of work with this infrastructure. Which one is this one? Iron Panda, yeah. The problem is though, is he doesn't have a lot of wood, so it's really not going to be able to afford much of much population in military, or even the War Academy right away. Wait a second, did he just made his sentries right now. This is interesting. Just made his sentries. So he's probably thinking, hey, maybe somebody's gonna raid me with something, so why not have a couple of 1 HP spearmen to protect against that? In some cases that might be good, you know. Maybe you do a little bit of a snare with the disciple and then get a couple of pokes in with these guys. Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome. What about this China up here? Yeah, see, he's farming. He's really farming hard today. He's really gonna stick to his rice paddy. I mean, people might complain, hey, you're not getting the bear gather rate from the berries or the huntables, but at least he's gonna be safe at home behind his rice paddy. That's always nice. What about China down here? Good CLL 555. Yeah, what has he got? He's got about 7 villagers. He can afford an age up finally. That's nice. He's gonna get a white pagoda, so yeah, that's nothing we really see often, right? That's for the monks, is it, right? It helps the hero monk be able to heal, and also increases the build limit of the disciple so that he can train. That's a first. And let's see here. About 4 on berries, 1 on wood, actually 4 on wood, and then 1 on mining. This is kind of interesting actually, because it's been a very, very, very long time since I've been a low level player that was very new to the game, so it's kind of surprising to see a lot of the low ELO players like this actually do a mix of resources all the time. Like they have 1 on mining, a couple on wood, a couple on some sort of food. It really is an interesting study to see how the game can possibly be played at all levels, you know. We're used to people saying, oh, go on to the hunts right away and then chop and transition. No, to somebody that's lower level, they might be thinking, hey, maybe I need to gather a little bit of everything, so maybe I can get market technologies earlier, or maybe I can balance out my resources early. At a much slower rate be that, but, you know, it's interesting. What's interesting for me is we see the good CLL going for 2 natives. A Tupi native and a Carib native. So if he does get the resources, which he might be able to, he might actually be able to get a Carib and a Tupi spam of 2 archer units. That could actually be pretty good, because as we see here, nobody else is really building much military production. Right, and that could cause a serious problem. And also considering he's the first one up to age 2, COL could really do some serious pressure here. Yeah, see this here? He does... Well, wait a second. Yeah. Isn't it supposed to bring the build limit up at the Disciples? Or is that an effect it gains later? I don't know. I'm trying to remember what this... Yeah, so maybe it's in later ages that the build limit goes up. We do see that he has some Disciples at the TC, though, from the age up. So, what I think you should do if you're good COL is train Tupi out of here, train the Caribs out of here, combine that with your Disciples, and you got a really nice combination to wipe out these other guys here that aren't even really building any military. I mean, you might have to worry here about the 1 hit point regulars and sentries from Iron Panda, but, you know, once you do a karate chop and take them down in 1 hit, I don't think there's much more you have to worry about. So, it looks like, surprisingly, it doesn't seem like this Iron Panda actually has gotten any of the market techs yet. Even though he has the market available. A castle. Interesting. So he's going more for defense than offense. It's kind of interesting because I remember when I was a China beginner, like about 10-12 years ago, I used to spam old Han armies all the time. I used to just go spam, spam, spam. And then I would ship in all the big unit cards of China without thinking about the crates. I would just spam units against the AI, and sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't work, but it was fun, and it kept me engaged and wanting to play the game more and more when I was younger. So it's interesting to see the way these kids do it that are newer, you know, instead of going all in and wanting to ship in a bunch of random units and stuff early on, and then hopefully surviving. These guys focus more on the eco aspect and build up slowly over time. Slowly. Yep, he's building a consulate now. The thing that's kind of interesting here is that neither Iron Panda nor Taloka Koromane or Komoramon or whatever have not actually aged up yet. You know, only this good CLL is the only one that's in age 2. He could potentially exploit this right now and really start to do pressure on these guys, right? And what do we... Is he grabbed any more? Yeah, he's going to grab the other native, and he's probably going to grab this one too. So, if you're the Chinese is good CLL, you might not even need a war academy. You might just be able to go in with all the natives in the center map, combined with your Disciples from your Shaolin monk. And in fact, he has trained more of the Disciples. The great thing about the Disciples is they're similar to the Coyote Runners, so they're actually a form of hand cavalry, a very weak one at that, with the potential of doing critical strikes. So if he can combine that with these native archers, maybe he has a way of pushing against one of these guys, you know? And even this guy here is thinking, yeah, I'm going to build this teeny-weeny little wall here to keep you out. But it doesn't cover this part of the ford, so he could run right in and go try Ming Trufa Hauda right on top of his TC. Just like that. Just like that. Yeah, I never see anyone make this, though. It's kind of interesting because in my closest memory, I rarely ever go Imperial Age as China, right? The most I ever see my games going is like Industrial Age Max, because that's when I, you know, get to finally upgrade the flamethrowers a bit and the flying crows with their rate of fire, get some of the later upgrades on the Chinese units. So, the fact that he's... Oh, so he's going to use the native embassy instead of the trading post? That's cool. I think the advantage there is you don't have to click around at all these different buildings. You can just do all the work out of the single one here if you want. And wait a second, he's shipping, oh, so he's doing infinite wood and infinite food. Yeah, nice. That's wonderful. See, now once he gathers this up, he'll actually be able to afford lots and lots of natives. Yeah, that's great. It seems like he's actually doing a lot of these infinite shipments from the home city. So maybe at a lower level it seems enticing to grab all these infinite cards because I know, hey, I can keep sending them, right? They don't disappear, right? It's always a resource I can depend on in addition to whatever I'm doing with my villies. The very interesting thing, though, is that Open Sill, now that I look at the name at the top, is actually going only with 7 villagers, right? Everybody else is training all these villies. And we're at about 14 minutes into the game and nobody's actually rushed anyone yet. But OpenCL has technically developed his military more than any of them and is only doing it with 7 villies thanks to his home city. Yeah, this is actually kind of fun to watch because it makes you think, like, though we always tell people you have to keep training villagers all the time, don't stop the queue. This kid, at least at the low level, has figured out a way of bypassing that system. Just keep sending more and more crates from the home city. Which I'm surprised he's getting so many of them with just 1 trading post. Well, this is why, because the trading post has about 341 experience. 341 experience. That's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. $175 coin. Nice. I mean, technically I would say Open Sill is ready for Fortress Age really soon. Yeah, definitely. What about Iron Panda? What's Iron Panda gonna do? He's building a dock. He's building a dock. And he's gonna get gill nets at the dock from a body of water that doesn't even have any fish in it. This man is creative. Very creative. You know, he's trying to trick out the caster, basically, by, basically making him think he's gonna, yeah. And maybe what he could do is, maybe he could, I don't know, put a fishing ship right here against the coast to distract his units targeting. Maybe. Who knows? Look, he's building a mountain castle. That's actually a pretty good placement for his wall. Seems like, though, that Iron Panda's technically... Yeah, I mean, he can totally afford the second age up at any time now. He should grab it as soon as he possibly can, I think, because some of his opponents here are starting to build up a little bit. Yeah, you're going to deal with Mr. Toopy Carib Spammer down here, and then you obviously got China over here building up as well. So he's actually going with the British allies, so maybe we'll see some redcoats from them. This one also went with the British, so maybe he'll send some redcoats when he finally ages up. They definitely could afford their first batch right now with the musketeers. Interesting, so he's actually going to ship in 10 rattan. So he does, so these guys do have a home city, it looks like. It just wasn't visible. That's interesting because, yeah, now the flags have appeared. It looks, this is weird because I didn't see the home city show up at all before. Yeah. Because I was thinking few seconds ago, I was like, oh yeah, there's no cards here. There's no cards, man. But now I'm seeing cards magically showing up, and I'm like, yeah. And I was looking back to what I was talking about with him, like I was seeing those cards coming in from the home city, so I was wondering what was going on here. Like, why aren't cards appearing? Looks like now they do have some cards. So it looks like they will be getting diplomatic intrigue, sustainable agriculture, and rattan shields. You could also send atonement to outlaw type units, cost less population. It'll get the iron troop later. That's good. I do like this big spam of farms he has, though, of rice paddies. It's definitely very defendable, especially with this. He's not going to put a castle there. He's going to put an actual war academy down, so maybe they're going to actually go to war now. Yeah, maybe. That would be really nice. And right over here, he's going to have a consulate set up over in this spot. He's going to be putting his farms over here. Oh, that's a monastery, so Red will have their own monastery now. He could technically make some of his outlaws out here, or he could later on make iron troops with that atonement card. What does he have from the start, though? He has the Centaurs, he has the Zanatas, two very strong cavalry units, and then he has the Cannoneers. The Cannoneers are kind of cool because they're only a one-pop mercenary unit that you can get from the Second Age. So it almost feels like a Renegado that's more accessible, really, in most situations. Oh, we do see a spawning of standard armies and old Han armies from the Red China. Are the other Chinas producing military? No, it looks like Goodsill is going up to Fortress Age. He's going for a semi FF. Yeah. He does have the Disciples, though, to defend his Explorer with, which is nice. Yeah, I mean, he could send the Iron Flails. He's got the Mortar card, which is great. He has the Flamethrower card, which he could totally use. With the Mount Castle, he could ship in the Iron Troops. Yeah, this is pretty nice. I mean, it took a while to get there, obviously, and since he didn't follow any of the standard economy practices or build war practices, but now that he's there, he got some good tools to use. That's pretty nice. Oh, he's going to go economic. He's going to get the crates first, so he just has more options, and then he's going to go for the mortars. Without any units. So if, say, somebody came in with some Step Riders or some Disciples, they could karate chop his mortars to bits. That's always a good strategy. Iron Panda building a wall up over here. What's up with Iron Panda not aging up? He's got upgraded fishing ships with no fish, and no wonder to age up with. Does this man even know how to age up with the Asians? That'll be seen. Now this is strange. He actually modified his consulate to reduce his gather rate, but improve his export production. That's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. It's kind of cool, actually. Building a wall here to protect himself from being raided along the trade route. Nice. Nice little turtle. So we're finally starting to see Goodsill get some military, it looks like, from his war academy. How is the Red China doing? Looks like the Red China could actually age up right now, if you wanted to, and he might want to do that. Because then he could get, does he have any, like, unit? Yeah, he could send the Arquebusiers in. Does have the, Manchu. That's actually a good card to get in Fortress Age as well. Intervention, that's pretty solid. We'll see. See what they have for us. Well, with this traveling merchant, so he's upgrading the trade route, it looks like. An upgraded trade route is a good trade route in my book. More walls. More walls. Walling yourself in from an army that isn't even there, really. Well, it's better you get the walls up now, I guess, so if you do end up getting rushed out of nowhere, at least you'll have some defenses. I wonder what we're going to see out of this dock, though. Is he going to, like, go for, like, a fishing ship spam to wall off his base or something? I don't know. Definitely wanted to upgrade him, though. Oh, this one's building a town center in the center island. It's actually pretty smart, because now he's going to be able to control all this hunts, all these mines, the trees. So yeah, I mean, Goodsill is looking pretty good in the center island. All we'll really have to do is just spam out of all 4 of these natives, start training some War Academy stuff with food and coin, and he should be able to pull off an easy win here, I think. Whenever he's ready to build an army, right? Not rushing him, obviously. Oh, wait a second. He's actually going for Industrial Age with the Temple of Heaven. Wow. He's going to get Transcendence. I'm surprised he didn't go for the Summer Palace at all, though. Because I would have thought newer players like this who are low ELO would be drawn to the free units from the buildings, this type of thing. But looks like they don't really care about that stuff, you know? They rather just worry about resources or disciples and stuff. Oh, looks like Iron Panda finally aged up with the Temple of Heaven. Look at all these idols, man. Do something with these guys, you know? Do something. Move them. move the villagers. They gotta be doing something. Try Ming Hao Dao over here. Fahongo. Get some wood. You need it. Disciples. This is just really wacky because usually I'm used to watching and commentating on competitive games with people that are higher ELO, but this is like lowest ELO you could go probably in terms of what we're seeing. You know, people that just play for fun probably, which is totally cool. I play for fun too. That's how I started in AoE 3. Because initially I didn't think I'd be getting actually good at this game and be YouTubing it one day. But now here I am. Completely grown up and matured in the arts of AoE 3. 3 rice paddy rickshaws. Is that card that you can get as China? Who knew? Who knew that was a thing? Yeah, that's kind of cool actually. Yeah, I like that. I like that you're able to get that. I mean, obviously this China here is feeling really safe because they got all their rice paddies hugging the town center pretty much. Oh, he's building a Confucian Academy, it looks like. So that's nice. He'll actually get some free flying crows from that too, since he appears to have the most developed military of all of them at this point. Iron Panda. What's Iron Panda gonna do? Like, I would love to jump in as one of these players that just start attacking them to see what they do with whatever things one of them have built up so far. A dark rickshaw. Where did he get that from? Where did he get a dark rickshaw from? That's crazy. Imagine having a dark rickshaw on a place where you don't have any ability to fish. I mean, you could actually put them on the water here to defend the island and actually sail them up and down a bit to defend against any sort of forward basing on the exterior, but yeah, it's kind of unorthodox to think that way. Arquebusiers and refrigeration. Those are two cards I actually use. You know, I like the Arquebusier shipment, and I like upgrading my rice paddies early on. So that I can agree with. He's actually also starting to upgrade his Quangs and his Step Riders too. So he's gonna have probably at the moment one of the most upgraded militaries right now. Because it does seem like this China here is more developed in buildings, but he hasn't really trained much yet. He could go full natives at any time and just wipe out one of these guys. Though, that's one thing they both have to worry about. He could go guard natives actually, because he is in the industrial age. Right, he could get the guard Tupi and the guard Caribs and also the Feast Warriors, and that would totally wipe out one of these guys. Or both of these guys. This is actually a pretty long match from the looks of it, because we're not even at the... You know, I'm looking at the ticker up there. We're only at about 30 minutes in. Not even halfway through. It definitely feels a lot different than doing standard games. Because it seems like these people really take their time in terms of macroing and stuff. You know what I mean? They don't, like, they're not trying to rush each other within 5 to 10 minutes with a timing attack. They're just sitting back and building everything out. Even getting, selective breeding. Even, is he going to actually go for goats with that? Or, yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I actually don't use a lot of livestock myself. I probably should in certain situations. Since I've seen it used effectively in TAD with the cows in Spain. Oh, he's got the ever victorious army, so 8 iron flails and 3 flying crows. Good shipping from Goodsill. He is also starting to build out his villages a bit, so maybe he is going to make some military stuff. Though you don't really need to, since you could technically get the guard upgrade on these now, and he'd actually be ahead militarily, I think. You could also ship in some of these iron flails and these flamethrowers and go for an attack. Oh, so I think Iron Panda actually made the Keswick and Step Rider banner army from the Mound Castle here. He's also starting to age up to age 3 finally, with the Confucian Academy. Yeah, man, you gotta get these guys doing some sort of work. That's sort of the first thing I think that newer players could probably learn is no matter what sort of wacky plans you got in mind, just make sure you're always having them do some sort of work. Right? Have them on wood, have them even on these tappers right here. Have them do some sort of work, right? We can worry about the build order stuff later and the, you know, putting everything together, but you need to make sure that whatever sort of task you want to do, that you're always doing it. You're not letting them just stand there wasting time. Because that's what kills you in the end, is the most idleness you get in your economy. It's other things too, but I find people that don't queue their vills often enough and have their villagers working often enough end up dying a lot quicker. At all levels. Because I see that in the Liga with people, you know. We'll have a Juanito that forgets to train villagers for like 5 minutes because they're dealing with the military situation. And they're behind by like 5 to 10 bills, and then they end up getting crushed when that army fails. So it definitely basically gambles your chances of winning. That's for anyone, not just these people, not just these low ELO legends, but anyone. Oh, it's interesting they've already gone to locomotive into trains, so everybody's going to be getting a lot of resources now. Yep, they're both going to be getting a lot of flying. Wait a second. We see Tleming Trufa Hauda pushing up over here. Nice. Nice. We see flying crows, hand mortars, and iron flails. Goodsill is finally attacking. He could actually spam in all these natives too if he wants. That would definitely help him out. But right now he's gonna act like the AI and attack the wall first, I guess. Yeah, that's pretty nice. I mean, if you're trying to appear though, you really need to come up with some sort of game plan. Right, you need to get some sort of, I would say probably iron flails and maybe meteor hammers, so maybe the green banner army, if possible. Yeah, if he can afford it, that is. Because how much resources? He actually has a lot of resources. You could get some batches of iron flails and meteor hammers out to deal with that. That would be perfect. Definitely. Wait a second. Is he gonna do some sort of ninja strategy with the stuff? Yeah, he is. He's gonna be a sneaky dog and go like... Hey, he literally just got blown up when he reached the target. That was not good. It's not good at all. It's not good at all. Yep, and what about here? Now, I've been watching this guy for a while. It seems like he's actually already gotten the guard upgrades on all his military. He also has a flying crow. He's got a bit of armored cavalry here. This China here could actually really wreck Goodsill out if he decided to sneak in. And he actually has the biggest score too. You know, he paid attention to his rice farming a long time ago. He was already frying rice before frying rice got popular. So I think this China might actually end up coming on top. Goodsill might do the dirty work of killing his opponent for him, but in the end, Goodsill is going to be wiped out by the massive rice empire that is the Red Chinese. Looks like he's getting ahead with his sieging technique. China right. Iron Panda definitely needs to get some more units though, because I don't think that banner army type is going to cut it this time. It certainly is the right types of units to deal with both hand cav and artillery, but right now without any upgrades or numbers, it's just not doing what it needs to be doing. Yeah, I mean... Oh, but he shipped in the... If you can aim him with the flying crows, that'd be cool. Yeah, aim him with the flying crows. Unfortunately, he's just targeting them with having them shoot the cav, which is the wrong thing to do. You want to make sure that you're shooting them with artillery. Because hand mortars, even though they are mortars and they're great at sieging in large numbers, they're supposed to be like a real wacky version of a culverin. And you're supposed to use the counter artillery from a long range. If you're not using it for that, then you're not using it effectively. See, you even see here it has 6x against artillery built into it. So it's definitely made for that purpose. Transcendence. Everything gets healed. Mountain Castle? Yeah, it seems like Goodsill's gonna do all the dirty work and then he's gonna end up losing in the end because he's not producing enough. Yeah, I mean... Wait a second, looks like Goodsill was not paying attention to his artillery though when he's letting him take free. He actually lost the flying crow to those unupgraded cav units. That must sting. That must sting a lot. Must sting a lot, honestly. Yeah, just be careful of that mortar up there, though. That is shooting in your direction. You do have to deal with that hand mortar that's going to hit you from afar and deal that multiplier damage against you. What we got here? We got, what is it? Meteor hammers, train dows, also some Kejiks. And some, yeah, that should be pretty good. Oh, nice, nice. Iron Panda defended that somehow. That's great. That's great. Iron Panda truly is a very iron panda. Ironclad panda. I think they're going to have to team up, though, against this Red China. The Seoka core main. That is definitely going to be their biggest threat. So all this man has to do is move that large... Yeah, all he has to do is just circle around here with this big upgraded army. And I think both of these guys are going to have a run for their money. What do you think? I mean, I think... Yeah, you look at the score, he's actually more than double their score. He's got all this wonderful skirmisher and sword action going on, so... Yeah, he just has to go in here, and then he can swoop around here and hit the other one. Very funky indeed. Very funky indeed. Yeah, and when you look at his deck, he clearly has a lot of upgrade cards too. So he's definitely planning on going heavy on his army. It looks like. We even see double-faced armor, which I don't use all the time, but he does. This just makes your units a lot tankier overall. So he's going to be shipping the Iron Flails, the Quangs, the Rattans, and the Flamethrowers all at once, it looks like. Yeah. He's also getting rice surplus at the rice paddy, so he's also focusing a bit on eco. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you're good Sil, you could at any time decide, you know, I am going to plop all of these Caribs out and all of these Tupi out. That would definitely do you a lot of justice here, because you have a lot of floating food and a lot of floating wood. And you might even have enough to deal with this red Chinese army here, too. Because he's mostly got, what, skirmishers and, well, never mind. I mean, you would have to be worried about the steppe riders and the Rattans, but everything else, though, besides the flying crows, you could just go full native archer against. Yeah. That could definitely work to your advantage. What's this? We see Red China going up at the Summer Palace. This is kind of mind-boggling to me, because normally the Summer Palace is always the #1 wonder to start out with. But it seems like this time he's going to be ending with it. Yeah, that's a very strange way to think of it, because I think the way you would... I think I even thought of it when I was young was, intuitively, let's get the Summer Palace first, because the sooner we get it, the more units we get for free from it. It's like a solid starting investment to your army. But it seems like here, he's deciding, you know, I want to get all my fancy schmancy stuff like the Porcelain Tower, the Confucian, and the Temple of Heaven first, and then if I somehow make it to M page, then we, you know, get the free units last. And that's totally fine. Let's look at Goodsill. So Goodsill has, what is it, about 9 pikemen, he has about 4 iron flails, he also has his 2 flamethrowers, and he's got to use this rickshaw to put up a mound castle too. He's got to put it over here, or he has to put it somewhere over here. And also, looks like, yeah, he doesn't actually have a lot of the villagers on top of the patty. He only has about 3. Or the rest of, yeah, when I look at his bill count here, he has about 30 bills. What's everybody else got? Like, you see Iron Panda has 68. Wait, well, I'm going to have to actually look at the build limit, though. Let me see. So, yeah, it looks like Iron Panda has 32 vills, actually. Goodsill has, and I get 7 villagers. 7 villagers. He's made it up to Industrial Age and actually rushed once with only 7 villagers. That's kind of insane to even realize, because and he has about 40 villagers, which isn't even half the ones he could possibly get. Yeah, this is kind of insane, actually. It just shows you how powerful cards can really be. Because what these people have done the whole game was, they've played super duper slow turtles pace, but they do build a trading post that does yield a lot of XP, and they use cards to compensate for villagers, which you're really not supposed to do. You should be always queuing up your villagers, and again, as many of them as you possibly can. Even sometimes build in multiple town centers, they have multiple queues, but I guess these people just have a different philosophy starting out of how to build their economies. And now we see about, how many is that? About 10 or so Quangs. We see about, oh, that'd be about 10 Rattans, about 2 flamethrowers. The thing that's surprising me right now about this Iron Panda is he doesn't have any. Where's this coin? Where's he getting coin from? Does he have any mine? Yeah, now he's starting to mine a little bit. I think he ran out of his mine and he lost coin production. Are we going to see this dark rickshaw here till the end of the game, you think? Maybe we will, maybe we won't. I would think he would want to park it down somewhere over here, maybe. Oh, wow. Yes. Did he go for the full... Oh, he went for the full brigade. Yeah, we see the Rogers Rangers and the Falconettes from the British consulate, folks. This is actually pretty big. I think, honestly, right now, if you're China, you could actually go circular around the map with Red China. And you would actually be able to defeat all these other folks right here just with this. Because these are totally shadow upgraded Falcs and shadow upgraded skirmies. And even the rest of your mill here is you've already upgraded into guard. Also, the Flying Crows would be upgraded into Imperial. So, it's actually really nice, you know. It took you a while to get there, about 48 minutes into the game, but yeah, kind of nice, yeah. It really is cool. Yep, really is cool. Now we see. Yep. Alright, 1 second, let me pause this real quick. Get back to the game shortly. Let's resume this very long low ELO Legends match that we're doing. When we last checked in, we noticed that the Red Chinese were really focusing on upgrading their military and also keeping a lot of defensive rice paddies by their TC. They even really pushed out their consulate to pump out the biggest brigade army that the British could with a large army of Rogers Rangers and Falconets. Yeah, see, this is the thing that's interesting now that I'm looking at it. Looks like all these folks, and I could be wrong. Let me look at his consulate too. Does he have a consulate? Does this man have a consulate? Does he have a consulate? I'm looking for a consulate from this fella. He does not have a consulate. He does have a consulate, but he hasn't picked anything yet. But when you look at Iron Panda, it looks like these guys have this notion that he actually switched it off. So Yeah, before he changed it to all the way over to 10%, I think. Where he actually took a big portion of his economy down just to make the export gather 10% faster, which in Lane's terms would be close to like 50%. Yeah. Or actually it would be, well, if this is 5%, well, if it's 10%, when it, yeah, it'd be about 60%, yeah, so these guys think at the lower ELO level that it's actually better to be greedy with export, which I find actually not only interesting but reminiscent of what I was like when I used to start playing the Asian Dynasties when I was younger. When I was younger, I thought that having European armies being trained from the console was really OP and cool, right? So what I used to always do was against the AI is I used to sabotage my economy and put it on to 10% all the time just so I could send the big giant European consulate armies out all the time. In particular, I like doing Spanish a lot with the Japanese. I like doing the I think I like the Russians because they gave me a factory wagon and a fort. I also like doing the French sometimes and the British. I didn't really like the Portuguese that much since I wasn't a fan of water. And I don't know how much I did the Germans. I think I did the Germans a lot too. So yeah, back in those days when you don't understand how a consulate works, you're thinking, oh yeah, cool, free units as long as you have this much exports. So just sabotage your economy by the rate of economic theory just so you can spam out all this wacky European artillery and stuff. And as you know, against the expert AI, not too good. Usually I'd end up getting defeated by it. Wasn't pleasant at all. Not pleasant at all. That's a lot of wood actually from the Chinese TC. I wonder why he's gonna pick that up. Yeah, good chill should probably grab that wood really soon so he could do something with it. I feel like really soon we're gonna see some serious pressure going on here. The thing I find really wacky is maybe this is because it's a 3P FFA that the Red China leaves his whole normal army at home and he exclusively charges in with the British units. Oh wow, look at that, it just blew up the flamethrowers. That was actually a good shot. But how many Falcons does he have? He has like 4 down here, he has about 3 up here. Yeah, this is kind of strange actually. It's like he's almost anticipating some sort of attack from blue in the south, so he's keeping his whole main army up there. Let me look at... Did he send... No, that's not intervention. I was wondering where those redcoats came from. Yeah, very strange.
Yes, I mean so. I mean so.
Commandment. Lion!
Yes? Ready.
Yes.
请下命令。Ready. Commandment.
Ready.
This is interesting. We see him moving in with the Falcons down here. And then we're going to probably see him move in with the Falcons up here. Whew, nice. Nice, nice, nice. I don't think these redcoats are going to be a great use here, though, since the Rangers can beat them. Meteor hammers, oh, the blue, though, that's definitely a sign of relief for you if you're Iron Panda. Problem is, though, they don't have enough upgrades on them. These are fully imperialized Valks, and those are just veteran level meteor hammers, so not the best thing you would want to go against that with. Step Riders, good choice. That definitely does have a bit of a multiplier advantage against these units. But you do have to deal with these tanky Lifeguard SRs, though. That's the one problem you have to deal with. Yeah, I mean, looks like he's holding on just fine, just using these British units. Brutal, though. Look at that SR. Yeah. I've never seen somebody play like this before with Chinese. Like, going in with like a super duper export unit spam like that of like Falcons and Hussars and Rangers and Redcoats. And then having a whole army back at home. Oh, wait a second. This madman's gonna attack them both at the same time. This madman, this guy, he's gonna go in for both of them.
Ready?
That's kind of cool, actually. Actually really neat. So he's gonna assault both players at the same time. This man is a legend. A low ELO legend.
Yes.
And his name will be Tawaka Cormain. Tawaka Cormain or Tawaka Cormain. Yeah. This man is a low ELO legend. Not only did he build up the most upgraded military and made the most export units, but he's managing to be a Giga Chad and attack both of his opponents at the same time. This man is incredibly based, my friend. He totally is. Look at that. Look at that. Not even worried about a single spam of one. He's not even worried about two meteor hammers coming out of nowhere and attacking him. He's just going in on a full roll here. Look at that. This man is a legend. And this is like actually not a bad army either. Like, when you think about, yeah, these are Imperial Arquebusiers. This is actually a decent military to be striking with. And he somehow managed to do God's work over here with just a couple of consulate artillery pieces.
Yes, yes.
This is really nice.
I wall. Avance.
请下准备就绪。准备就绪，开战！
Commandment, lay on.
Ready? Yes.
请下命令，准备就绪。
Nice. Nice, nice, nice. But then you're going to have to take him out down here too in the center island where he has all his natives packed into. Wait a second, wait a second. This is an enigma to me. This man is losing his base, but he actually wants to kill Green so badly, even while Red is killing Green himself. Talk about mixed priorities. And he actually built a war junk in the water here. This is actually, you know, in practice is actually a decent strategy because you can use the broadside attack to totally devastate his artillery pieces since they deal crush damage. This is actually a pretty smart play on Iron Panda's part here. Wait a second, we see 3 players in the fray here. Look at this. You got a Chinese True Ming Trufa Hauda junk ship up here shooting at both of them, and then you got Blue is playing totally pacifist. He's not even fighting back. He's like, you know, kill me, man, kill me. It's okay. I don't care. Just kill me. Whatever you want to do, man. Just wanted to siege down Green's wall. What's up with these disciples? They just standing there? Why do the disciples just stand there getting shot at? They should be doing their kung fu fighting stuff.
准备就绪。是的。
Yeah, and we still have this main army here. The thing that surprises me though is he built a wall and a town center here. Like, what's up with that? Like, that's the wackiest thing I've seen before.
Commandment?
准备是的，
请下命令。
请下命是的，主机。
Yes. Commandment? Awais. Yes.
Good work. Good work.
准备就绪，
准备就绪，遵命。
请下命令。遵命。Commandment? I mean so. 是的。
是的，是的。
Oh, flying crows doing a lot of damage here. Oh, nice. The thing that really disappointed me in Goodsill, though, is we didn't see any sort of native play up in the center island here, though. I found it interesting that he wanted to capture all the natives at the very start, but he never ended up using them in the end, which is really cringeworthy, I think. Even in the low ELO category, you should have totally went natives galore up there. But we do see him making his iron troops in the home city, though. These archers are actually pretty good. You remember that game of Arena I did the other day? They can actually be pretty good in some situations, even against nasty units like Samurai in group numbers. So definitely keep in mind that iron troops are very nice units.
请下命令。
The thing that's really shocking me right now, though, is the fact that it looks like that the timer is only about halfway through, and it looks like now we're starting to see both of these guys getting sieged up here. You would have expected them to be defeated by now, but how much resources? They actually have a lot of banked resources for the amount of pressure that they're dealing with, which is actually kind of surprising. You know, I would have thought that these guys would have, you know, they would have built an army by now with those resources and would have fallen by now, but they've been banking up on this stuff. It's really surprising to me.
Commandment? Yes.
Commandment. Igual.
Yes.
Yes.
轮回之期不久矣。
Commandment?
准备就绪。
请下命令。
Yeah, he's consolidated control of the central island, it looks like. This Red China man, he's definitely the low ELO legend of this map here. Because he's the one that's actually managed to not only build the largest army, but defeat both players in open combat.
Yes.
If only, though, he would move on to these other areas and kill the rest of the buildings. Yeah, so, yeah, you still see green Iron Panda's villagers mining down here. You see his villages straddling on the other side of the trade route.
Ready.
Uh...
是的。
Ready.
Yeah, he's starting to siege this wall here now. And he's probably going to come back in here and start popping off these buildings on the end over here.
什么？遵命。
准备就绪，出发，遵命。
Commandement? Await.
Commandment.
Yeah, see, this could keep Iron Pan in the game a long time. He has like 7, almost 8k wood. He's starting to now get like military upgrades for his what's his Quangs and his Chukonu. Also queuing in Imperial Army, so the Arquebusier and the Iron Flails. Yeah. This is actually surprising to me that these low ELO legend style FFAs are so long, because it seems like, you know, in normal situations, these dudes, if they were higher level, would have resigned by now. They would have quit, because they would have said, hey, I've lost my town center, I've lost a serious part of my map control within this wall space here. So, you know, I would have resigned at that point. This is why I like the fact that I decided to pick up a low ELO. Actually, not even a low ELO. I just decided to pick any random match that showed up in the Spectator Mode. Regardless if it was low ELO or not, it could have been a high level game. My idea being, let's just pull a random game out of there. Whether it's high level, low level, free for all, 2v2, 3v3, 4v4, and just examine it. See what we can learn from it. Even if there's nothing applicable to you that you would use in your game, like if this is like really low level stuff, it at least is a way to document the very different types of ways people play AoE 3 across the spectrum. That's why I think the low ELO category became so well known in AoE 2 to start, because, you know, sometimes you're not trying to watch somebody like Viper or Tato or somebody just wiping out the field, you know. Sometimes you just want to see somebody relatable to either you now or somebody you were when you were 10 years old, 15, and how you used to enjoy this very special game that you grew up with. And I think that's something everyone can appreciate. You know, even if some people might say, oh, this is boring, there's not a lot of action going on. Now, this is kind of interesting to me. This is a bug that I remember in being in Wars of Liberty. See, the unit's technically sieging, but for some reason when it sieges, it doesn't actually do any damage, and you actually have to re-control these units, move them, right-click them, and then attack it once again. Like, I think now if he tries to shoot it again, he'll get it. Yeah, see, now they're doing damage. They weren't doing damage before, but if it is the same bug I'm thinking of, where it just does like 0 siege even though it should be doing damage, because it's like a heavy unit, like a pikeman or something, or an artillery piece in this case, that should be doing a lot of damage. Wait a second, we see Iron Pan actually doing an industrial age with the porcelain tower. Now that's interesting. I didn't expect him to actually... Well, he did have a lot of resources like farmed up. He looks like he wants to go for a vengeance now, because we're seeing him upgrade again all these technologies. That's a lot of technologies, by the way, to get all at once.
是的，
Oh, so it looks like... Oh, wait a second. Did... He killed this poor low ELO boy here. He just killed him. He just ended his existence. He just wanted to remain with this one little explorer here and do no harm to anyone. And he just struck him down in cold blood. That's not right. This low ELO legend is a hardened killer, it looks like. Now, I think what's going to happen now is they're just going to have this big standoff in this sort of fortified wall position here. I mean, you know what we could do? I just want to just, I don't know. Do you want to see, like, all the building that goes on here, or do you want me to sort of fast forward it through a bit and get some combat? Because I feel like now we sort of understand where the story is going. Iron Panda's going to try to rebuild back as far as he can. Ideally keeping all his important goods in the back here, underneath this wall. And then when he's ready, he's going to try to, you know, do a bit of a counteroffensive. Whether that's successful or not, we're going to see it. You know what? Let's fast forward a bit and see what happens. Can we make it even faster? Does this work? Yeah, cool, yeah. Yeah, let's play it super fast then, yeah. Just so we're seeing what they're doing in real time, in speedy time. Because I want to be able to cover this since these people are moving very slowly at this point. See it in more of a quicker time so the video doesn't go too long than it should. So yeah, it looks like Iron Panda, he's trying to reclaim his base here. He's put a TC up, he's put some of the mound castles up, or hill castles since he hasn't gained that upgrade yet, and he has a war academy. He could definitely spam out a bunch of units. He could get really any army at this point except for the old Han army or the yellow one that gives the Kejiks and the Kwangs. Any other army could really mass right now. And what's Red China doing too? It's good to pay attention to them. I mean, at this point, I think he's just letting the farms do the work at this point, because he's already put down about... He still has the static amount of farms that he's had throughout the match, right? Hasn't even really invested heavily into those farms at all. He actually doesn't even have the Imperial upgrades for those rice paddies either, neither the coin upgrade nor the food one. Which is kind of interesting, because, well, we like... really an hour and 14 minutes into the match, and he's not even really upgrading the things. Which I think, you know, why? Why are you not doing that? Why are you not doing it? And then I realize, maybe he's didn't think of using his market yet, because it looks like, yeah, he doesn't have the wood for it, so maybe these guys have messed up the market rate so much that it's not even worth using it to get the wood for the upgrades anymore. Yeah, that's what I would think. It's gonna be fun seeing what happens when these guys actually go into another battle with each other. That'll be good.
请下命令。请下命令。
No Imperial Chukanu, no Imperial... He did... Well, the one thing he didn't really upgrade was the Keswick, it looks like. Yeah, not a lot with the Keswick. How about the Mound Castle? Does he have a Mound Castle somewhere? Yes, he's got one right here. Yeah, see, he hasn't really upgraded his regular trainable artillery units a lot. He's mostly relied on like Consulate and the Confucian Academy for his arty. This is actually quite a long match. This is quite the longest match I've ever seen with such little happening over a period of time. But wait a second, we see spies. We see spies out of the Chinese town center. Kind of an interesting unit because when you think of spies in like TAD or D, you think of these as these really boring, useless units that you would never use unless somebody was doing a MERS deck with like Germany or something, or Dutch. But in like Wars of Liberty, the spies are actually one of those most nastiest units you could deal with. They can go into stealth in front of any military unit and attack them while still being in stealth, as long as they're not spotted by a town center or the explorer. And then they can plant landmines underneath a player's feet while being in stealth, astronomically making their attack that much stronger, because their attack alone is pretty nasty because it can snare you and make you vulnerable to other units that kite. But if you got like a big formation of like artillery and infantry firing in one spot, they can start digging landmines underneath you and you won't even know until you start seeing units start dying on the peripheries. Not only that, they can sabotage your buildings with their explosive barrels. They can snipe town centers, they can snipe forts, they can snipe wonders, and they can snipe ultimate buildings as well as factories. They can, and when you're dealing with other spies, they can even use a knife throw to assassinate the other spy. And don't think just because they can't get into melee that they can do damage, because the spies can also get a pistol with one of their upgrades, so they can attack in stealth with the pistol. Yeah. Oh, now we send... It looks like our friend is sending intervention now just to go over his pop cap.
Ready.
That's going to give him about 9 redcoats. Oh, that should be nice. That should give him a good advantage here. He's also getting Western Reforms, which is to upgrade all his units a little bit. That's nice. What's Iron Panda doing? I'm curious. Let me see. Well, they're getting Fire Dragon Manual. This is actually the card that I like. What it does is it will actually upgrade your flamethrowers to guard if they haven't been upgraded yet. So it's that itself has like a 500. I think about not 500, but it has a pretty good food and wood value on its own. But then it will give you 1 Flying Crow and 2 Flamethrowers, and it will improve their rate of fire, so that they'll actually dish out damage sooner with each shot. Their shots will occur a lot quicker than they normally do. Yeah. Yeah, I was looking at that for a second, like, oh, is that Pikeman or something? No, that's the Chang Daos. It's what's funny is Red hasn't even really decided to attack his opponent at all, but he does carry like double the score. Seems like our Panda is like just making wood at this point. Yeah, he's just making wood. It's not even like making anything else, right? Does he like queue up villages when he finally reaches food, or does he just make it into more military? I would have also expected this player to Oh, so we do see capturing of trade routes, it looks like. So he is going to grab Goodseal's trading post right now. He could grab these natives too and actually win with the trade monopoly, which would be really nasty and gnarly thing to do, but he could. And that would actually force Panda out of his shell to attack those. Yeah, I mean, the thing I would say for you, if you're the Red China as a low ELO legend, try to, you know, put some forward buildings up, right? Yeah, put some forward buildings up, like build some stuff on the center island like Goodseal did a little bit. Also use these natives. You know, combine that together and you got yourself a nasty combination that would actually dominate your opponent right now, which you can already do right now. But wait a second, we see Iron Panda moving some of his cavalry, his swords, and his Keziks out of the base. Are they going to initiate an attack of some kind? Maybe. Maybe they will. But we actually see heavy ships from the Red Chinese, though, parked in the water here. So this is actually kind of smart, because this is a substitution to building war academies. These can actually train his main war academy banner armies, in addition to being able to fire upon them. So as long as he keeps these things going, he won't need to build any forward buildings. He could just park these on the coast and get more banner armies from them. So then in a way, that's pretty clever on his part. Because unlike War Academy, these things can actually shoot back at you and do a lot of damage, especially with their broadside attack that they can hit like that with. So where's his military at? What's going on here? What happened? Wait a second, what's this? The spy is stabbing the flaming crow? Wait a second, what did he actually put his military stance on no attack? On stand ground? He put his military stance on stand ground, folks. Oh my... It's the first time I've seen anyone do that before. Dude. But you made him angry doing that. He's coming in like a fireball now. He's gonna go eye for an eye for that last artillery piece now. It's an eye for an eye. You didn't want to do that to him. Now he's gonna make you hurt. But I see he's trying to raid down here, potentially, because I see him positioning a little army over here. Yep, but I don't think you can stand much, because these arquebusiers, even without repelling volley, quite a lot of damage. Ooh, spicy. Spicy just moved his Keziks from the bomb here. That is painful, because these are already guard level Keziks, so he did actually deal sufficient damage to take those out. So we are seeing a bit of fighting back here. It's not just a one-sided beat up. We are seeing Iron Panda do some work. That thing is really neat. Oh, now he's gonna go in for the attack up here and start attacking his vills in there too. So now even this inner trading route base here is gonna start to slowly get eaten up here. Where's this fly? Yeah, I got that from the card. Alright, I was just wondering if he had a Confucian Academy anywhere. Still, he doesn't. That got burned down a long time ago. Yeah, it looks like Red is finally, in a bit of anger, decided to show no mercy to the Iron Panda anymore. He's gonna have to run up here though and get these guys, these villagers. Ooh, he's baiting them. He's baiting them into going after these and not focusing on the ones that are getting away up here. That's kind of tricky. How much resources does Iron Panda even have anymore? He has a lot of wood. He's got a surplus of wood. He has even more wood than I sometimes do in TR45. That's a lot of wood.
Yes.
That is a lot of wood. You could build a lot of stuff with that. You could like make a war academy wall with something like that. That trumpet. I love that. What? Yeah, that trumpet still. What's going on here? It's like trumpets everywhere. Trumpet, trumpet, trumpet. It's actually going on everywhere here. How did things get so quick all of a sudden? Yeah. Follow the trumpets. Follow the trumpets. Yeah, follow the trumpets wherever they go. Now it's these two spots here. You got him sieging this area, and then you... I think he's sieging the wall up here, that's why. Now he's getting repelling... No, that's actually Iron Panda. Did, He actually didn't... This is kind of scary, even though... Red is the low ELO legend of the match. He does not have repelling volley. So no 3x multipliers for him. All he can do is send a bunch of wild animals, as well as iron troops with this and some crates. No, probably because he's overpopped. He could probably send some stuff in once he, he could ship in more of these, yeah. Is that what is that? A monitor. He's going for a monitor? Unfortunately, I don't think he has any build. Iron Panda doesn't have any nearby buildings for him to shell with that thing, though. So, that might be fall on deaf ears.
Ready?
准备就绪。
Commandment? Yes. Commandment?
请下命令。
Yeah, this is the most spiciest escape plan I've ever seen hatched before by a player. Not only do you somehow get away, but you actually manage to reclaim the center island that the player technically still controls. How did this slip through Red's fingers? I wonder how. He's already got 2 farms up here. He's also got a War Academy, a Mountain Castle, and a town center. How did this happen? How could you let go so much of what mattered? Imperial monitors? Is that right? Could he actually shoot this town center from, Yeah, he could. According to this, he can. Can he hit... I think he can maybe make it to this town center with the bombardment. Yeah, I think he can. Yeah, I think the bombardment can reach that town center. If not, he would be able to build into this stock area over here and be able to shell it, I think. Yeah.
Commandment. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably the longest, most drawn-out FFA I've ever seen before. So you know me, for my FFAs, when we do ours, you know, there's a lot of fighting going on. There's a lot of action. You're not just sitting around like this, waiting to attack them, right? Maybe if you're an odd number, you see somebody eyeing a bit, but in general, you'll see every player within an even amount, right? If it's 4 PFFA, then you'll have 2 people duking it out. If it's 3 PFFA, then one person will weigh it out while the others duke it out. You see a lot of fighting going on. Red is really out of sync. Out of sync. Probably the game was like, you know, you're taking way too long, man, so I'm gonna just kick you all out. There we have it, folks, our first ever low ELO legend game and our first ever random casting. Hope you enjoyed that format, you know. If you like the idea of me finding random record games on the platform to cover, certainly reach out to me on that. Also, if you want to see me do more low ELO type stuff like I did today, also let me know that too. I think this is a new exciting format of stuff we can do if there's no casted games available in the upper categories. Just so you can see a wider variety of the ways that AoE3 is played. But anyways, hope to see you next time. Hopefully there'll be some casted games for tomorrow. See you on the next one.